today's news, documents reveal that issues and concerns regarding relocation of the Public Health Unit and the Environmental Health Department were vividly ventilated yet ignored. And a police sergeant granted $40,000 bail after being charged with perjury. And the Public Health Unit pens open letter of frustration. And the Office of the Deputy Governor issued statement on its support of the Public Health Unit's relocation. But viewers, these are more stories when 284 News return.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hustle. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Well, welcome everyone. It's Friday, March 4th, 2022. I'm Kamal Haynes coming to you live from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Well, a happy Friday to one and all, and thank you so much for joining us. Well, viewers, we start today's newscast where we saw leaked documents reveal that the issues and concerns of relocating the Public Health Unit and the Environmental Health Department to the Union Property Building were vividly ventilated by both departments to the Office of the Deputy Governor. Take a look at the story. The documents, which were obtained by our newsroom, revealed that a meeting was held on November 9th, 2021, where details regarding the proposed relocation to the all-new building were detailed. Well, following the disclosure of those details, the reports indicate that a number of concerns were raised both in the meeting and in subsequent emails, which were addressed to the Deputy Governor. Well, some of the issues and concerns outlined included inadequate space, concerns of ventilation and air quality, confidentiality concerns, poorly designed stairs, poor public access, inadequate parking, poor lighting in the stairwell, and a poor kitchen and bathroom placement. Well, in regards to the inadequate space concerns, the Public Health Unit expressed that there was just not enough room within the proposed areas of the building to accommodate the continuously increasing staff of their department. At the time the issues were ventilated, the unit had a staff size of 14 and were anticipated another 16 staff members that were expected to fill permanent and temporary positions. The unit also expressed that in order for all their staff to fit in the proposed space, the tables of employees would have to be reduced to about 3 feet in length, which they say would barely hold a computer and a telephone comfortably. In addition, they feared such a small space would increase chances of spreading infectious diseases among workers. The Environmental Health Department also shared similar concerns regarding the proposed space, which they also deemed to be inadequate. But only 2 spaces within the building were initially proposed, which the department felt would not comfortably accommodate at least 16 staff members and the various training and workshop sessions. In addition to the inadequate space, the Public Health Unit felt that the space proposed on the 3rd floor was also not accessible for all. With no elevator in the 3-floor building, the unit said that persons with physical or medical conditions would experience difficulties when attempting to seek service. In addition, the unit also reported that there are staff members with similar health and physical injuries that would be unable to access the higher levels on a regular basis. The issue of poor ventilation was also raised by the 2 departments. At the time, they said that only 50% of the windows were able to be opened, and the dusty external atmosphere ruled out the likelihood of opening the windows which were functional. In addition, it was said that the air quality within the building was moldy and consisted of chemicals relating to cleaning solution. Well, the issue of confidentiality also raised major concerns due to the proposed open floor plan. It was feared that the rights of individuals seeking sensitive testing, such as for sexually transmitted diseases, would have been infringed with the intended layout. Well, following an assessment of the concerns raised by the 2 departments, the Deputy Governor offered what he termed to be solutions to the existing issues in a subsequent email. But these included making a request to create a revised layout plan to better organize seating for each department, offering to relocate departments on particular floors, and proposing to create one boardroom for both departments on the ground floor to accommodate meetings, workshops, as well as to address confidentiality issues. But following the Deputy Governor's proposed solutions, another letter was sent to him from the Public Health Unit and the Environmental Health Department requesting for the chance to have a meeting with the owner and manager of the building to be involved in the redesigning of the space for the two departments. In addition, it was requested to have an indoor air quality assessment conducted within the building prior to the placement of any furniture or persons within the building. Also, reports indicate that the air quality assessment was not conducted prior to the relocating of the departments, which was scheduled to be completed by today, Friday, March 4th. In addition, according to the bulletin issued on March 2nd by the government, it stated that the Public Health Unit will be relocating to the third floor of the building. This is a direct contradiction to the proposed solution offered by the Deputy Governor to have the Public Health Unit housed on the first and second floor of the building following the issues raised of accessibility. I'm Kamal Haynes reporting for 24 News. Well, viewers, we will get to more details surrounding that same story. But before we do, let's move on to this next story where we saw the police sergeant who is charged with perjury was granted bail in the sum of $40,000 after allegedly attempting to pervert the course of justice in an ongoing High Court trial. Well, this was confirmed in a recent statement by the Office of the Director of the Public Prosecution, where it was revealed that the said sergeant is Markel Sebastine. Well, according to the allegations presented in the statement on February 22, 2022, the sergeant attended the High Court to give evidence in the retrial of Queen versus Pampil Prevost and Simon Power. Well, the information stated that Sebastine was served with a subpoena in early February 2022, attended court on the 22nd February 2022, where he gave evidence under oath that was contradictory to the evidence given in 2019 and to his witness statement given in August 2017. Where Prevost and Power are being tried for the offenses of theft and conspiracy to steal as a result of numerous allegations of corruption. But the first trial, which was held between January to April 2019, resulted in a hung jury. Sebastine appeared before Magistrate Kadeen Palmer on Thursday, March 3rd, where he was granted bail in a sum of $40,000 with one surety. He was also ordered to surrender his travel documents and not to interfere with the investigation or the witnesses of the trial. But that matter was adjourned until May 12th for reporting. Well, viewers, up next, Public Health Unit pens open letter of frustration. An Office of the Deputy Governor issues statement on the support of the Public Health Unit's relocation. But these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire, bring it home and upgrade today.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, in an open letter to our news agency, staff of the Public Health Unit within the Ministry of Health in the Virgin Islands say they are at a point of utter frustration. With 284 Media's Ron Grant has the story.
Hello viewers, I'm Ron Grant reporting from Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. The Public Health Unit within the Ministry of Health and Social Development has recently relocated to the building you see right behind me. In an open letter to our agency, the Public Health Unit staff say they have been dealing with a number of discrepancies over the last 2 years. They say lack of compensation, victimization, and in addition to that, lack of representation. These are their stories. Allegations have long surfaced surrounding the alleged mistreatment of healthcare professionals, particularly during the pandemic. However, healthcare professionals in their correspondence to us says, and I quote, "The staff's tolerance for victimization has reached its peak and they have had enough. The team is not only suffering physically but also psychologically and emotionally. They are fatigued, stressed, sick, and traumatized." The public health team says they have also been petitioning for overtime compensation for the last 2 years and proper working accommodations. The letter stated that the various policies, protocols, guidances, database development and management, sensitization, community sessions, quarantine and monitoring, testing, scheduling, and re-entry approvals were all predominantly created by the Public Health Unit, and to date, they have not been a recipient of any form of compensation. One staff member said, and I quote, "It is one thing to take mistreatment from the general population, but it is entirely different when the abuse and victimization are coming every single day from within, from persons who should be protecting us. We feel like we are fighting a battle on all fronts with no one in our corner to fight for us, and unfortunately, those in positions of authority are in cahoots with the people who are the perpetrators. There is no objectivity, no place for recourse." The staff says that a recent bulletin about the Public Health Unit's new relocation was the, quote, "proverbial nail in the coffin for the team." The staff say they are being forced to move to accommodations that they have stated to the Ministry of Health from in early 2021 is unstable for the functions of the unit. "We did multiple comprehensive assessments with the Environmental Health Division and wrote a list of concerns that would need to be rectified and why, before the building should be considered for the units. We are public and environmental health. Our building should be the standard or at least close to. Good air quality, lighting, proper spatial arrangement, an adult-sized toilet, proper furniture. Are these basic accommodations too much to ask? The building does not have an elevator or lift. The public health team has members who suffer from serious medical conditions, some autoimmune, that cannot climb those steep multiple stairs every day, and we cater to many persons in the community that cannot navigate those stairs. The public health team say they are also trying to transition from COVID-19 and will be resuming community outreach, which means navigating those steep stairs with multiple boxes of supplies. The team also reported that they have conveyed this concern, amongst others, in the last meeting held with the Ministry of Health on November 4th, 2021. Concerns that both the Acting Permanent Secretary, Ms. Tasha Bertie, and Acting Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Natalie Foy-Smith, allegedly dismissed, with Ms. Bertie allegedly stating, and I quote, "She will pray for the team's health and well-being." The team wants further investigation into the matter, stating, and I quote, "Why would you force staff with documented medical conditions to accommodations that are detrimental to their health, rejecting all logical solutions provided, like occupying the first and second floor, recommendations that the Deputy Governor, Mr. David Archer, has put forward for consideration to the ministry given our functions and medical concerns. Efforts to reach the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Tasha Bertie, within the Ministry of Health were unsuccessful. It is also alleged by the team that the Acting Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ronald Georges, has, quote, abandoned them and has shown very little interest or support in their plights, additionally stating that they have not seen the acting CMO since the latter part of last year. Quoting, "He's apparently public health. He rarely communicates with the team. It's a one-man circus. We see him the same time you, the public, sees him. in the lives that we are not even informed about. We get updates on protocols and policies in our respective areas at the same time as the community. Protocols that we must implement immediately without discussion, and any attempts from the heads to have a discourse on any area of concern are shut down. He would not reply to emails, messages, or phone calls. Efforts to reach the acting chief medical officer, Dr. Ronald Georges, were also unsuccessful. The staff says, and I quote, "We need a leader. This authoritarian leadership style, which involves micromanaging, undermining, petty, tranny, and emotional abuse, is not suited to carrying out the functions of public health. Which leader tells their staff that they don't care about them to their face? We have tried reaching out to him to resolve these issues, but all of our numerous requests for staff meetings from last year to date have gone unanswered." Additionally, they say, and I quote, "The team has reported his behavior to the Minister of Health, permanent secretaries, and Human Resources to no avail. And we have been suffering in silence because we have been trying to put population health before our own. But how can we continue to give from a cup that is not just empty, but cracked?" Our newsroom reached out to Health Minister, the Honorable Carvin Malone, who promised to review the matter and return with a statement. At present, he did not present a comment by the time of publication. More to come as the story develops. Ron Grant reporting for 284 News.
Well, thank you, Ron. There is just some more information on that said story, where in a statement today issued, the Office of the Deputy Governor said it remains committed to supporting the Ministry of Health and Social Development with the imminent move of the Public Health Unit to the new location. What the statement said, and I quote, "Well, during this period in our territory's history, the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic have been ably navigated by members of the public health team who have contributed significantly to the well-being and safeguarding of our community. While our office has supported the Ministry of Health and Social Development with the imminent move of the Public Health Unit to an interim location until the renovation of the Ralph T. O'Neill Administration Building is completed." But the statement continued. In doing so, on the 9th of November 2021, representation was made by a small fraction of the unit to ensure certain issues identified would be addressed before the move to the new location occurred. When the ministry took on this predatory task over a period of 4 months in a successful manner. Well, as a result, on Thursday, March 3rd, a meeting was held with a representative of some of staff of the Public Health Unit, the acting chief medical officer, and the deputy governor, and an agreed positive conclusion was reached regarding the move. Well, the engagement also included a brief meeting with other staff members present in the office, end quote. Well, viewers, up next, Premier Fahie says that the House of Assembly restoration will be addressed once priority projects have been completed, and the Pan American Health Organization highlights pandemic impact on women. With these stories, when 284 News return.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family. I love you. Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Livestream cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, Premier Andrew Fahie has said that his government still plans on fully refurbishing the House of Assembly, but he said the immediate goal is to first deal with the many outstanding projects which are priority. Well, But the Premier's comment followed a recent statement made by radio talk show host Claude Skelton-Klein, who criticized the government for continuing to host the House of Assembly in a gym, terming it a national disgrace.
With limited resources in the middle of a pandemic, you have to prioritize. And you have to decide now, yes, the House of Assembly is important, but also there are certain projects that we had to fast track now since we see that the economy is moving forward to get done. And that includes the building of the Elmo South High School, redevelopment project to get the students from where they are in Passear with a building that was not, I don't want to call on anyone's building, but it was not designed to hold a school, and therefore more issues there that you have to continuously deal with, which is something that they bring up in another forum, and get them back home to the Elmo South High School campus in modern buildings. That is a one that we're working on very furiously. If we did the House of Assembly project as first and leave the children second, then you rightfully will come in and ask, what about those children up there in that mold-infected building? Is no future for them? Is there no way you all are going to address that? And also we have to look at the Jocelyn Dyke School. The Jocelyn Dyke School was destroyed by Omar and Maria and promised to the people of Jocelyn Dyke for a new school long before Omar and Maria, and it never took place. So now we have to make sure that we allocate funds to get that done. And you have heard other areas that the Minister of Transportation and Works have rightfully said that we trying to get done, including getting the Eastern Langlook Sewage Project completed once and for all. And we're moving towards that. That's a couple $1 million well. And so we have certain areas that we look at that we have to look at, and how do you prioritize all these things? It doesn't make any project less important than the other. But at the same time, too, you don't have all the money to do all of them one time. So,
well, Premier Fahie said while restoring the assembly is significant, it would not be the moral thing to do considering the limited resources available and the other projects that once completed will benefit the wider community.
So there's a lot of infrastructure that we need to get done to protect people's lives and also to help us to boost our economy even further in a tourism product so that we can get more monies in so that we can do more projects. So it's very difficult to invest all the money in non-revenue making entities or in areas that would have as much impact as needed to secure the safety of our people. The House of Assembly, do not get me wrong, has its importance. But I think every member in the House of Assembly would understand that we're going to do that project, and the members of the public, but allow us to do these other projects first. I cannot sleep well in my bed knowing that I put a House of Assembly project ahead of bringing back over 1,200 students back to the Elmo South High School, and the teachers and the parents, and making sure that they're in a better environment. But yet we're in the House of Assembly in a brand new environment, sitting down, speaking and doing the people's work when the majority of the people out in the country are suffering. That will not be good leadership. But yes, it has its place. Now, I'm not going to downplay it, but it will be done. But everything takes time.
What the Premier said, at present, no timeline for the completion of the House of Assembly can be announced since his government is monitoring the incoming revenue. But after the first set of lockdowns in the BVI in the first quarter of 2020, a decision was made by the government to relocate the House of Assembly to the gym at the Energy Center in Duff's Bottom, where this move was to basically accommodate the COVID-19 social distancing protocols, since the gym has ample space to allow for seating arrangements of at least 6 feet apart for the elected officials. Well, moving on, viewers, to our final story, where the Pan American Health Organization's Director Carissa F. Etienne, and as Dr. Etienne, said that women in the region have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. Take a look.
This week, I want to highlight the impact of the COVID-19 crisis on women and girls, especially because we are observing International Women's Day on March 8th. Across the Americas, we've seen the pandemic place the most vulnerable at greatest risk. In a region that is rife with inequality, women have once again been disproportionately affected. Many women had to take on more at home as primary caregivers and are still struggling to resume their careers. As countries enacted lockdowns to slow the spread of the virus, there was a spike in violence against women. During these periods, calls to domestic violence hotlines soared by 40% in some countries. Of course, COVID also had a significant impact on women's health. As the vast majority of our health workforce, women were at the front lines caring for COVID patients and putting themselves at risk. It is no surprise, therefore, that they accounted for 72% of all COVID cases among health professionals. And even though women are slightly less likely to develop severe disease than men, some studies show that women of ethnic minorities, such as Afro-descendants and indigenous women, as well as migrants, are often at greater risk due to the overlap of gender and social factors.
Well, viewers, Dr. Etienne also shared some frightening statistics about pregnant women and their access to care in the region during the COVID-19 era.
Disruptions to prenatal services and lack of access to timely care led to more expectant women dying across our region. There was a large increase in mortality among pregnant women in the United States beginning in August of 2021 after the Delta variant had become predominant. The highest number of cases were among Hispanic and white non-Hispanic women. Pregnant women are also among those most vulnerable to COVID-19 due to changes in their immune system, which can put them at risk for severe disease. Over the past 2 years, more than 365,000 cases of COVID-19 have been reported in pregnant women in the Americas, and sadly, over 3,000 of them died. PAHO has just completed a study tracking COVID deaths among pregnant women across 8 countries in the Americas. We found that 1 in 3 women who required critical care did not access it in time, and over 90% of 447 pregnant women in the study were already experiencing life-threatening symptoms when admitted to the hospital.
Well, viewers, the Pan American Health Organization is the specialized international health agency for the Americas. It works with countries throughout the region, including the BVI and other Eastern Caribbean countries. Well, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes. Have a safe and great holiday.
Brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangada, Jasper Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.